I'm Not Cool Josh, and this is the brand new No Cap Bryshat Minute, brought to you only on my channel. Tonight we're going to look over the Dean Cain, Brian Shapiro interview and give you my thoughts, because I haven't had a chance to catch all of this. And there were some things that I'm very excited to talk about that I haven't really been able to voice my full opinion on the subject we're going to go over. But I feel very strongly about it. I luckily know a lot about it, and it seems like Dean Cain and I agree a lot. And it's funny because Brian Shapiro is really tame in this interview. You can tell that he really is jazzed about interviewing Dean Cain. We've seen Brian Shapiro and how he very typically acts, and just what a loser he is and how insulting he is to everybody because of his blatant insecurities of being an ugly ginger retard. It's almost more irritating watching him cuck than just be himself. I respect him more when he's just his disgusting self than when he's sitting here like, oh, yes sir, no sir, Dean Cain. Can you stay in my contacts list? Want to be friends? I liked Superman. But anyway, let's do it.
Because kids these days and people online are getting fed this line of baloney that is not true. I think they haven't traveled. They haven't been outside the United States. They've never done business outside of the United States. So they don't understand how incredibly wonderful it is to be here in these United States.
All right, Dean Cain, you can babysit my kids. Hell yeah.
You talked about ICE, and you said you're an honorary ICE agent and all that. And clearly we have a problem when it comes to our border. With that being said,
Yeah.
did you also,
We did.
Of course, but did you also take issue with what happened in Minneapolis, with what happened to Renee Good, what happened to Alex?
That's got to be like divine intervention. Dean Cain might not have known how wise it was to interject that line. Be specific, because that's against Brian Shapiro's whole shtick, right? Like, Brian really likes to make vague generalities and blanket statements and leave out really interesting details that are super relevant, because he's trying to pull one over on people. That's the total difference between conservatives and liberals when they go to debate and to argue. Liberals go to win. And when you go into a debate and your intention is to win, there's always going to be an opportunity to lose. Whereas conservatives go into a debate seeking truth. And when you go into a debate seeking truth, then all that's going to happen, whether you win or lose, is you're going to grow. And you're seeking wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It's not just another trophy on your rack that you can use as an excuse to keep talking about yourself like Brian Shapiro loves to do.
Do I take issue? Yeah. Don't come to a protest armed. Don't impede a federal law enforcement officer when they're doing their duty. Don't put your hands on a federal law enforcement officer or the police. Don't do any of those stupid things. Those are absolutely stupid things to do.
What did Alex Preddy do that day that was violent?
He put his hands on a federal law enforcement officer.
From what I saw from the video, they approached him. He was trying to help a woman up.
This is why it was very wise for Dean to tell Brian to stay specific, because Shapiro strikes again. He goes, he was just there trying to help a woman up, and the police approached him. Like that, you're making him sound like a good Samaritan, and you know damn well that's not what happened. And if anybody on the right would employ this verbal semantics tactic against somebody that they were debating on the left, you would call him out immediately without fault, and you would get red-faced and start spurging and doing that dog-like foaming thing at the mouth, because it always looks like you have a dip in. Like Shapiro has that caveman, perspective when you look at him from the side, just because he's an ugly idiot. It's just, I'm not even being nice anymore. I'm not being nice. This is not me. I'm a nice boy. He was helping another spurgy protester up, and he shouldn't have been, because at the point that lady had fallen on the ground, she had committed a crime, and he went and tried to help her up, which is impeding, law enforcement. He was getting involved in something that he frankly shouldn't have, and that's what started the whole ordeal. And he put himself in a situation that he should have never have been in. That's what will happen. Like, I'd like to see Brian be an ICE officer and try to navigate the chaotic waters. He would have killed like 9 people and himself by accident by now. I mean, he's just retarded.
ICE agents, law enforcement officers, don't go out going, hey, I'm going to go shoot somebody today. It's the worst thing in the world you ever want to have to do.
Right.
But that's what you're trained to do. And if you hear gun and you see a gunshot and you know this guy has it and he's wrestling with law enforcement, somebody can make a mistake or somebody can make an action that I would hope I wouldn't have to be that officer.
Kristi Noem, who's no longer there, if she was doing a good job, she would still be there. I think we could agree on that. Called both Renee Good and Alex Preddy terrorists. Alex Preddy and Renee Good have no criminal record at all. Do you believe that they were both terrorists?
Well, Benjamin, let me counter that with a whataboutism. You are a Biden supporter, and he accused 70 million Trump supporters of being domestic terrorists for the sin of supporting Donald Trump. What are your opinions on that? Are you consistent? I'm sure a majority of them, especially when compared with the left, have clean records. Well, what do you think of that? Huh? What about? And also on Dean's point of it being horrible for an ICE officer to have to pull the trigger on somebody, I don't know if Shapiro and the left, they always think that these officers are like bloodthirsty, NPCs that are just, playing video games in their head and just gunning people down because it's fun. Like, no, man, like it takes a toll on you. I'm sure many of you have seen the videos of body cams of cops that like had to pull the trigger, even if it was their 10th time. It's a huge deal. They're crying. They go home. They're shaking. They don't feel good about it, dude. They're like throwing up. They have to go sit in the car. All their buddies, like, they feel it too. They're like, dude, are you all right? Look, man, go home, or go take a breath, go drink some water, do something. I'm so sorry that happened, man. Like, it's traumatic for them. It's not fun. It's not like they just do it and forget about it, dust off their shoulders and go about their day and listen to Wu-Tang Clan or something.
Renee Good made a number of mistakes. The most of which is driving directly at a law enforcement officer who's telling her to stop, ignoring commands to stop and get out of the vehicle. Mm-hmm. And that is a deadly weapon. And I can't tell you how often police officers get run over, get hit by cars. That is a deadly weapon.
When I see that video and I see Officer Jonathan Ross go to the vehicle and she says, "I'm not mad at you, bro." Then for whatever weird reason, with a cell phone in one hand, he walks to the back of the vehicle, which I've been told you're not supposed to do, then walks to the front of the vehicle, stops, cell phone in one hand, gun in the other hand, stops in front of the vehicle, regardless of Renee Good's mistakes that she may or may not have made it. But when you have officers say, "Get the F out of the vehicle," when she says to Jonathan Ross, for example, "I'm not mad at you, bro."
When she says, "I'm not mad at you, bro," it was obviously sarcastic. She was obviously being disrespectful and sarcastic. Brian Shapiro knows that. Anybody who has an honest bone in their body knows that she was being like a nana boo-boo 5-year-old. Look, Renee Good broke like 5 laws before the law enforcement officers, did what they had to do. And they did try to de-escalate. De-escalation to the left, they think it means like kissing their feet, and buying them a box of chocolates and giving them a back massage and telling them that everything's going to be okay and the world should never be uncomfortable for you. The world should be comfort. I'm sorry that this is happening. Telling you to get out of the car 6 times can be a form of de-escalation. This girl was stopped in the middle of the road and she's already impeding traffic. She's in the middle of an investigation, so she's impeding law enforcement. That's 2, right? We're at 2 at the very least civil infractions. Pennsylvania v. Mims says if a police officer has you on a traffic stop, and at that point that was definitely a traffic stop, you have to get out of the car upon request. You have to. There's nothing else. You have to. She, in her own way, refused. We're up to actual misdemeanors now. She was disobeying law enforcement. I can't remember if she ID'd or not. I can't remember if the cop even asked her for identification. Maybe they did, but if she didn't, that'd be ID refusal. And when she drives off, that's fleeing and eluding. When she strikes the cop with the car, at the very least, that's assault and battery. At most, that's assault with a deadly weapon. And then Brian Shapiro loves to bring up the cell phone in her hand. Well, look, if he didn't have some form of capturing device, Brian Shapiro would be complaining about that too. Maybe these ICE officers are harassed so often that they want multiple forms of video so that they can cover their ass 155%. Look, as far as walking behind the vehicle, there's different protocol for every police department, but most of the time in these intense situations, say he's on trial, they're going to defer to the cop's judgment. Maybe the cop felt like he needed to go behind the vehicle. Maybe the cop wanted to protect the people that were behind the car because so many times perps will put things in reverse and just floor it and then, kill like 9 people. I'm sorry. I myself just spurged a little bit. But I feel strongly about this, guys. But anyway, I don't need to have a long, drawn-out outro. You know that I'm Josh. This is the No Cap Bryce Shat Minute, or 10 minutes, rather. And if you liked it, share it far and wide. Please like the video and subscribe and tell all of your buddies about it. Because I bet you giggled a couple times. I bet so. I don't want to do that for free. So help it Joshua out.